The reason you're broke, weak, and average is not really what you think. It's not because you have no ambition to work on your goals. It's not because you're not putting in a good amount of work. And it's certainly not because you are a failure or because you don't learn enough on your own. You don't do more research about what you need to do. It's certainly not all this. It's something that is really simple that you didn't know was a really big problem in your life up to now. When I point it out, it's going to sound so obvious, but when you stick around and you start to reflect, then things start making sense. And once you see it, you can't really unsee it. You'll start paying more attention, and that is how you'll become really successful in life. The worst thing about this issue that I'm talking about is that you don't really notice it. And most people go about their whole lives. They live until the day they die, and they don't even notice that thing. And so it's a really sad state because it's a really important thing that which most people don't really talk about it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've read the books, you've done research, you've watched countless motivational videos on your FYP, on your Instagram, on your TikTok. Your algorithm just swarms with these motivational videos. You've made plans, big plans, you have big goals, but they never really seem to work out. Sometimes you just fall in love and then your girl asks you for some help, and you can't really help because you're not worth anything. And so you start making some dumb excuses, and then she stops replying. She sees you are a worthless person, and then you lose another heartbreak. You make a business idea, you never follow through with it. You try and then it fails. You have very, very big goals. 1 year passes, 2 years pass, 3 years pass. You take your phone, you look at your account balance. It's the same money, the same account balance that you had like 4 years ago or 3 years ago. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is your dreams, because now you just start giving up on them. You keep thinking that maybe fate is up against you. Why are things not working out for you? And it seems that everything is meant to destroy you. Nothing is working out. And so you go through this stage where you are depressed. You start thinking the worst. Maybe I'm not built for such a lifestyle. I should just go back to the life that everyone is living, the mediocre lifestyle. Maybe that's the way. Nothing happens. Yet you have big dreams that you can see very, very vividly. Like it's in front of your eyes, but it's not happening. Why? There was a time in my life I wanted to become a really elite man. I had very, very big dreams. I would actually wake up early, create a routine. I would go so far as to track my calories. I did not have the money to join the gym, and so I would just do calisthenics. I would actually write down my goals. I used to live my life like a game. I would just tick them, and in the process, nothing happened in the first week. The second week, nothing happened. The third week, months passed, nothing happens. And so I started falling off. And quite frankly, the thing that made me leave campus to start pursuing my goals was that I actually fell in love with someone. And so I fell in love with a certain socialite, and it demanded a lot from me. So my time, my effort, the money that I would make, everything. And I did not really realize this. It was actually ruining me, because after some months I actually came and gave up on my dreams. It was a messy process. I started questioning myself. I started doubting after months. I started wanting things to work out very, very fast. And I lost my patience. And you know, when you lose your patience, then you do things very sloppy. You don't pay attention to detail. You don't do things the right way. And so you end up messing. And so after a while of doing something, after like 1 week, maybe you want to become a YouTuber. After 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you realize that motivation fades because you don't see much progress yet. So what's left? Willpower. And if you do not have a really strong willpower, then you've just messed yourself up very, very much. Because if you do not have a strong willpower, you will eventually come to give up. And that is what happened to me. I eventually gave up. I started the first week, I showed up consistently. The second week, the same way. The third week, the fourth week, the fifth week, I started reducing my effort. The seventh week, I started losing my patience. I would show up sometimes I would not. And by the time it reached the third month, I had already given up because I did not have a strong willpower. And I ended up losing that relationship. I'm going to talk about it in another video because it's not relevant to the topic now. But so I ended up losing and I lost everything. And so it's a sad state to talk about because it's actually those moments that make you hit rock bottom. I started reading many books, some productive books, some financial books. I started planning how I would start my own business, how I would do things, learn about the skill, the thing that I'm doing. I wanted to start YouTube from a long time ago. So I started learning like editing, how to speak, and I never did the real action. I was just learning. And this is what messes up people big time. So basically, the real output that I was supposed to do and I did was like 1% of the whole day. The 99% I spent faking action. And why am I telling you this? Because what I'm going to say next is basically going to change your whole perspective of life and make you save very many years of frustrations and failures. Basically, I stopped faking action and started doing real action. What I basically mean by this is that you stop doing the things that feel really productive but are not productive in your life. Things like reading very many books, things like learning that skill. I'm not saying learning is a bad thing, reading books is a bad thing, but this is my point. You have to take more action. You have to sit down and just start whatever you do. I know it seems risky right now, and that is exactly what your lizard brain is telling you. You have to take good action. You have to change your whole perspective of life and start taking action. Reading books won't change anything. Doing more research won't change things unless you start putting action. There was a movie scene that I watched from Game of Thrones where they say that knowledge is power, and the guy ended up being threatened and they almost took his life. So the queen actually told him that power is power. But my thinking is applied knowledge is power. That is what I think. Because you can have two people. One of them is a risk taker and is not really knowledgeable about something, and the other just reads, is really knowledgeable but doesn't take action. Who has the higher probability of winning? The one who takes action, because he learned from his mistakes. Create that first content that you want. Start by doing calisthenics. Even if you do not have the gym equipment, even if you don't have anything that can support you in your fitness journey, just start. If you do not have a good phone that you can create content with, you can actually just use your low quality phone. If you see my past videos, I've actually done this a lot. I used to shoot with a very bad phone and nothing happened. In fact, it just motivated me to actually go ahead and get a much better phone that I could use to shoot these videos. Let's say you read one chapter of a book. Start by applying it immediately and apply. When it fails, that is when you know it's not working. And you should be consistent. Start by being very, very much consistent. Action faking basically comes from fear that you'll fail. Think about this. If your bloodline, the past and the future, your future bloodline and your past bloodline, if they were given the chance to watch your life right now like a movie, would you be proud of the way you've lived so far? And for most people, and including you, you'll just go ahead and think that you're not really worth their genes. And so if you think like this, you really need to change your life. Hiding behind books and more research is basically being a coward. And I'm not going to lie to you. The moment you start, the moment you put in much effort, just that little effort, you'll just realize that it's actually very easy to become great, because most people are action fakers. Most people don't really take action. Most people are just scrolling on social media. They're just watching this garbage. They are consumers actually. And the moment you start producing, that is when things shift. Wake your ass up and start working. Embrace the boredom. Embrace the suck. Great men are built through boredom. That thing that you're avoiding, it's not going to kill you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Guess what? Great men are built in the mud, in the trenches, not on the couch with books like these little NPCs who say that when you gain more knowledge, that is when you'll become powerful. No. When you apply that knowledge, that is when you become powerful. And really, the worst part about not building your life is that nobody actually cares. No one will look after your life. No one cares about you. Only your future generations. Those are the people who will look down upon you. They will think you are a loser. What will your children say about you? What will the future? Will you be remembered, or will you just fade like the people who faded a long time ago? We don't even know them. Or will you be in the books of history? If you choose to remain average, know this: I won't know you, and you'll probably know me because I take more action. You'll never be more successful than me. I will always come to beat you at your own game. You'll keep on celebrating my success instead of celebrating yours. You'll keep thinking I'm the GOAT. I do things uh, that cannot be done, and you're just there, you're average, you're nothing. So right now I want you to do something that will change your life. I want you to sit down and sign a contract with yourself. Write down a contract and sign it, and make sure that contract makes you change your freaking life. You should refuse to be average. Otherwise, you'll just remain like that and you will waste all your youth. You'll realize that time passes by very, very quickly and you've not achieved anything. So right now, take down a pen and a paper and write that contract. Right freaking now. What are you waiting for? Become the greatest your bloodline has ever seen, and then pass it down.